Okay, look closely at this hex code right here, 0x17, or decimal 23. If this specific code is showing up right now in your Active Directory event ID 4769 logs, your network authentication is about to absolutely break in July.
Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're tearing into the absolute goldmine of technical updates from Endpoint Weekly's June 2026 Roundup. We're going to take their incredibly dense technical deep dive and transform it into a clear-cut, prioritized action plan. So whether you're a local sysadmin with boots on the ground or a CEO looking at enterprise risk and licensing ROI, this Explainer is built exactly for you. We're starting with the immediate foundational threats, and we'll work our way all the way up to advanced executive strategy. We've got a ton of ground to cover, and remember, you can find the full companion article and all the resources linked on the Endpoint Weekly website.
All right, let's dive into this. Today we're covering 1. The July 2026 deadlines. 2. Intune Compliance made simple. 3. Defender antivirus policy basics. 4. Security baselines and automation. 5. Future-proofing your IT stack. And 6. M365 E3 and E5 upgrades. Let's start right off with Section 1, the July 2026 deadlines and mandatory Kerberos RC4 enforcement. If you're a director or a CEO, you need to hear this loud and clear. The July 2026 security update permanently removes Kerberos RC4 Audit mode on your domain controllers. What does that actually mean for you? It means any legacy apps, network appliances like older NAS boxes, or weak service accounts that are still relying on RC4 encryption are going to experience a hard failure. We're not talking about just logging a little warning in the background. They will flat out fail with a hard KRB ERRE type no-sup error. There is absolutely zero silent fallback here. Now, for our engineers on the ground, here is your exact game plan for remediation before you apply that July patch. First, detect RC4 traffic by searching your security logs on domain controllers for event 4069. You're looking for that 017 ticket type we hooked you with at the start. Second, check your domain controller registry to see if it's already enforcing AES only. And third, once you've confidently confirmed 0 RC4 requests over a full business cycle, go ahead and disable RC4 via group policy. Endpoint Weekly actually has the exact PowerShell scripts on their website to make step 1 a total breeze, so definitely go grab those. Moving right along to Section 2, Intune Compliance made simple, getting back to basics. You know, as your IT environment inevitably grows, properly defining device health isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's practically mandatory. But what exactly is a compliance policy? Well, think of it as a silent background health check. It's essentially a set of rules a device has to pass before EntraID conditional access opens the gates and allows that device to reach your company resources, like email or SharePoint. If a device fails the check, boom, access is cut. And this right here brilliantly illustrates a massive source of confusion we see all the time for IT admins, the difference between configuration and compliance. Look at it this way. A configuration policy pushes a setting. It reaches out and says, hey, turn BitLocker on. But a compliance policy checks a setting. It asks, is BitLocker actively running right now? These two absolutely have to work together. Essentially, one builds the wall and the other guards the gate. Which brings us to a really crucial June 2026 update. Ubuntu Desktop 24.04 LTS and 26.04 LTS are now fully supported for Linux compliance in Intune. Here's the catch, though. If you don't update your compliance policies to actually include these new LTS versions, those devices might just show up as not evaluated instead of compliant. And not evaluated is a major blind spot because conditional access generally doesn't block them by default. You've got to close that gap. Let's shift gears to Section 3, Defender Antivirus Policy Basics, connecting the policy chain. So here's another fundamental concept where teams often get super tangled up, and they end up accidentally pushing conflicting settings by using two different portals. Let's break down the dichotomy. Intune is the management plane. It decides what policy gets deployed and exactly to whom. MicrosoftDefender for Endpoint, or MDE, well, that's the enforcement plane. It's the local agent right there on the device that actually applies those settings and detects the threats. Keeping this separation clear in your mind makes understanding endpoint security architecture so much easier. And speaking of management, the recent June updates introduced two brand new settings for Linux server antivirus profiles: offline security intelligence updates and scheduled scan. The absolutely crucial point here is that these default to not configured. Sure, they're going to appear automatically in your existing profiles, but they aren't active yet. IT must actively go in there and enable them to ensure your air-gapped servers get definition updates and that those weekly scans are actually running. Next up is Section 4, Security Baselines and Automation, Navigating Advanced Operations. As we start looking at advanced operations, we have to talk about how IT teams actually scale their security. Intune security baselines are fantastic. They are these pre-built policy bundles based on Microsoft and CIS recommendations. But please remember this, baselines are versioned and they do not update automatically. You have to control the migration. Why? Well, imagine if Microsoft just pushed an automatic update to a baseline, it could flip a setting and instantly break your entire production environment without any warning whatsoever. So migration must always be a highly intentional, controlled administrative act. 403. Listen, if your IT team suddenly starts seeing HTTP 403 forbidden errors in their automation scripts, you need to pay attention. As of June 2026, multi-admin approval is now officially enforced on Microsoft Graph API calls made by automation scripts and service principals. If your scripts are out there trying to modify covered Intune resources without the proper approval headers or tenant exclusions, they are going to fail. Bottom line, it is time to audit your service principals. Moving to Section 5, Future-proofing your IT stack, deprecations, and upcoming changes. Looking slightly ahead, there are 3 major architectural shifts you really need to start planning for today. First up, DirectAccess is officially deprecated. The supported migration path here is always on VPN via Intune. Second, the modern print platform is now known as Windows Ready Print, and any new installations are going to default to driver-free IPP starting in July. And finally, Windows 10 extended security updates have been extended to October 2027, but, and this is a big but, only for personal use devices. Your corporate fleet still hits end of support in October 2025. While these cutovers might feel like they're 12 to 18 months away, the risk literally accumulates daily if you delay your planning. Now, what's really interesting about this next topic is the sheer value. Section 6, M365 E3 and E5 upgrades, the executive wins. Directors and CEOs, you are going to love this because it represents a massive licensing ROI. Microsoft is actually moving major Intune suite capabilities straight to your base Microsoft 365 E3 and E5 subscriptions at absolutely no extra cost. For E3, you're picking up remote help, advanced analytics, and Intune Plan 2. For E5, you get Endpoint Privilege Management, Enterprise Application Management with auto updates, and Microsoft Cloud PKI. This offers staggering strategic value and, honestly, allows you to potentially retire several really expensive third-party tools starting right now. Just keep in mind the rollout is gradual, so here is your exact actionable step today. Sign into your M365 Admin Center, go straight to billing, and look for a 30-day advance notice. Or you can check your Intune Admin Center under Tenant Administration to see if these new free capabilities have already been provisioned for your tenant without a trial prompt. Wow. Okay, we have covered a huge amount of ground today, from stopping a total authentication catastrophe to unlocking some amazing new free tools for your stack. I highly encourage you to go visit the Endpoint Weekly website, review their full deep dive source material, and absolutely grab those PowerShell scripts to secure your networks. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, which leaves us with the ultimate question. Before these hard deadlines hit, is your estate actually ready for the July rollout?